Welcome everybody, it's Kiss Wednesday, and Bjørn-Rune Nilsen asked me to do the Icon compilation that brings a CD of Gene, CD of Paul, CD of Ace, and CD of Peter. No, there's no CD of Eric Singer, and there's no CD of Tommy Thayer. Gee, why? Anyway, I got something to say about Paul Stanley of Kiss at the end of this episode. But man, I think I've never looked into this Kiss Icon thing, and I haven't looked at Aces and Peters yet. But man, Paul's and Gene's is awesome. Awesome. Great songs. I mean, yeah, I think there's a couple songs on Gene's that could have been replaced by Strange Ways and Watching You. But other than that, I think it's pretty tight, pretty awesome. Both of them. All right, so here we go. We start with God of Thunder versus Detroit Rock City. Did you know Paul Stanley wrote God of Thunder? Yeah, I just thought I'd say that because if I didn't, there'll be, a comment or two about it. Reminding me that, because they know so much and I don't. God of Thunder versus Detroit Rock City. I love them both, but it's easily Detroit Rock City, which I feel is the greatest Paul Stanley song, period. All the way up there is the greatest Paul Stanley song. But if we're going to count a Paul Stanley song where he doesn't sing the whole thing, then yeah, Black Diamond is definitely the best Paul Stanley song overall. But in this case, it's Detroit Rock City. All right, next. Almost Human versus Love Gun. I love Almost Human. Hey, I named my channel after that song, but some people out there think that's my favorite Kiss song. No, it's up there though. Probably my top 20 of favorite Kiss songs, maybe even top 10. Definitely not top 5. And Love Gun, I think, is better. So I'm giving that to Paul Stanley of Kiss. All right, next. Dr. Love versus Take Me. Easily calling Dr. Love. Take Me's good. Dr. Love to me is great. All right, next. Ladies Room versus Strutter. Man, I would have loved to have given this a Ladies Room. I think Ladies Room is one of the most underrated 70s Kiss songs. Listen to what Gene does on the bass, those runs, and Peter with the cowbell and shit, the little rolls. Fucking amazing tune, but I gotta go with Strutter, man. Strutter I like more, and it's a shame that I like it more because I'd love to give it to Ladies Room. I like to give it to you in the Ladies Room, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm kidding. I got a girlfriend. I like to give it to my girlfriend in the Ladies Room. You know what I'm saying. All right. All right, next. Christine 16 versus Come On and Love Me. Come On and Love Me may be like my third favorite Paul Stanley song overall. Christine 16, hey, at the time it wasn't cringeworthy. Now it is, all right? Christine 16 now should be Christine 60, right? Anyway, I think that's true if you really think about it. Let's do the math here. 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017. Oh, no. Yeah. I don't know. Let's not do math. All right. Let's go with the next one. I gave that to Come On and Love Me, by the way. The next one is Deuce versus Hotter Than Hell. I'm going to give that one to the Demon, man. Deuce. What a special event. Seeing Kiss in Madison Square Garden. 3 nights out of 4 nights they were there in 96. The rush I got at those 3 shows. When they opened up with Deuce and the curtain falls. Fucking amazing. I'm giving that to Deuce. Alright, next. Rock and Roll All Night versus 100,000 Years. I don't hate Rock and Roll All Night as most of you, especially the studio versions my favorite version. But yeah, it's, I know there's, it's kind of like for me, Thin Lizzy, The Boys Are Back in Town is like the only song most people know. And I think Thin Lizzy has way better songs than that. I feel the same way about Rock and Roll All Night. And 100,000 Years is just flat out awesome. I'm giving it to Paul Stanley of Kiss. All right. Next, Cold Gin versus Rock Bottom. This one, it's logical to give it to Cold Gin. Cold Gin kicks so much ass. But I'm going with Rock Bottom, man. I like Rock Bottom more than Cold Gin. Another one for Paul Stanley of Kiss. All right, next. Parasite versus Do You Love Me? Very tough. Very tough because I'm a huge fan of Do You Love Me. I gotta go with Parasite though. It's just, I just love the grit of it. I love the production of that Hotter Than Hell album. And the way Parasite sounds in that production adds the charm. One of the best Kiss songs ever. A highlight on Kiss Alive. Parasite wins. Next. Larger Than Life versus All American Man. I see what they did there. They took Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons' studio tracks from Alive 2 and put them against each other. And I do love both, but I gotta go with Larger Than Life. One of my favorites. Did any of you out there see my version? I even made a video that's on this channel. I did a cover of Larger Than Life. Go check it out. You may like it. Larger Than Life wins. All right, next. Love 'Em, Leave 'Em versus Mr. Speed. Now, I don't hate Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, but that's one of the songs I would have replaced and put either Watching You or Strange Ways in there. Mr. Speed rules. I'm giving it to Mr. Speed. All right, next. Mr. Speed of Kiss. All right. Plaster Caster versus I Stole Your Love. Again, like Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, Plaster Caster is the one I would take out of here too and add Watching You and Strange Ways. That's what I would do. Give me Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, Plaster Caster, take them off and add Watching You and Strange Ways. And this would have been a perfect Gene 70s album in my opinion. So Plaster Caster I don't care for really. I like it, but I don't love it. I love I Stole Your Love. That one's totally simple. I gotta give that to Paul Stanley of Kiss. All right. Next, Radioactive versus Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? There, I see what you did there again. Putting a song from each solo album. Radioactive, man. Radioactive and See You Tonight are really the only songs I like off this album. I hate Wouldn't You Like to Know Me. I know a lot of you out there love it, but I'm not into songs about some guy singing to me, telling me, wouldn't you like to know me? Get out of here with that bullshit, Paul Stanley. I'm giving that to Radioactive, the Demon. All right, next. And this is the last one, by the way. Charisma versus I Was Made for Loving You. Well, I Was Made for Loving You would win because it's a huge hit and Charisma was kind of a deep track. But I'm going with the deep track. I like Charisma more. I do like I Was Made for Loving You, but it's my least favorite off Dynasty. I'm giving that to the Demon. So Bjørn-Rune Nilsen, this is the final score. And there you go. Paul Stanley won by 2. And this is what I wanted to say in the beginning that I kept for the end. I knew Paul was going to win this. Because in my opinion, Paul Stanley is the best songwriter of Kiss. I'm sure if I put Paul Stanley against Ace and Peter's album, it would win. This guy was the best songwriter in Kiss. Peter Criss would win if Black Diamond's on his CD, and you got to remember, Black Diamond was written by Paul Stanley. And yeah, man, to me, Paul's the better songwriter. But in the 80s, in my opinion, when Paul saved Kiss and Gene was off to Hollywood. I like Gene's songs more. On Asylum, I liked Love's a Deadly Weapon, Secretly Cruel, Any Way You Slice It. Where the songs I liked on that one from Paul was King of the Mountain and All Night. Yeah, it's a stupid ass song. Gene wins. Paul does win on Animalize, but man, that's a crappy album. I do like 3 Paul songs on that album and only 1 Gene song. On Crazy Nights, all the Gene songs suck, but they all suck less than Paul's songs. And I don't know, I gotta figure out the rest. But for me, you know, Monster, that everybody hates, Monster to me is the closest of Gene and Paul being tied, you know, and where Carnival of Souls, fucking Paul hated that album. I think Paul shined on that album. I only like 1 song from Gene on that album. I like a bunch of songs from Paul, including the grungiest of them all, It Never Goes Away. Love that shit. Paul hates it, but whatever. Hey, I'm rambling on here, ain't I? But anyway, Bjorn, thank you so much for your donation. And Monster's the best album. I have to look it up. In my opinion. Don't throw tomatoes. Again, thank you, Bjorn. Thank you, everybody out there watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that. And give me your ranking of the Demon versus Star Child songs in the comments below. I love to read stuff like that. I'd like to see if anybody would say Gene wrote better songs. Hey, be cool. That's your taste. I'm not saying you're wrong. But, man, are there people out there that think Gene wrote great songs, but would Gene win? Leave it in the comments below if you think he would. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Paul Stanley of Kiss. Songs from the 70s Kiss albums. Except for the solo album. That shit sucks. And smack 'em a gob.